Okay, now we're going to get into more of the agentics. So you saw Bishop, basic chat bot. I was going to remind you, we looked at Bishop and how you can just sort of chat back and forth with him. And you might be thinking of stuff like Chat GPT or Grok, which are great products, of course. But I just wanted to remind you that when you're chatting with Bishop, you're chatting within our private AWS Bedrock platform instance. So ScoutITAi is fully secure for any of the data that you want to talk with Bishop about. It's not shared with some public engine. So anyways, I thought you might like to know that before we continue on. And the same goes here for the ones that we're about to look at now. So if Bishop is your main agentic, then when you go to analyze it, you're looking at the four agentics who sort of are there for Bishop to help Bishop when he needs it, but also to talk to you when you need it. So I want to start with the first one, the predictor. So that'll be what this session's about. And click on the predictor, and then you get the cool little steampunk thing showing this all-wise wizard here, the predictor. And basically, if you remember from one of the earlier informational training courses, I mentioned that the predictor will look at all sorts of statistics related to any application or location that you have. And then it will go back and look over the past 30 days. And in some cases, depending on your data, it'll go back as far as 100 days. But the standard is 30 days for the score and deductions for 100 days. With that data, the predictor then runs Monte Carlo simulations. So I'm going to go ahead and start one now. Let's just stick with ServiceNow since we were doing that before. So the predictor goes out there, he starts running he's autonomous in this way, in the fact that he can pick based on the data how many simulations he thinks he needs to run. So for instance, if he looks at a given application and he doesn't see that there's a lot of variance in the standard deviation for deductions across like all of your different monitoring domains, he may decide that 70,000 simulations, Monte Carlo simulations, will be enough. However, if he's seeing lots of variability, lots of deviations from norm in any of your deduction buckets for that application, he could choose to go as high as 140,000, 150,000 Monte Carlo simulations. And the goal of this is that he comes out, number one, with a good analysis of what you need to do to make things better. And number two, he'll provide you with a histogram to show you the results of his, let's say, 100,000 simulations. You'll actually get the histogram results in a chart. So, of course, you could use this forever you want. And as you can see, the predictor is pretty quick. That was, I think, about a minute, maybe a little bit less. I wasn't really watching, but anyway, since I was talking. But you can see now that for ServiceNow, let's see here, he ran his simulations against an original score of 95.63. And then there we go. He chose to do 93,044 simulations. Okay, so that actually means I'm betting. I don't know. I haven't read this, but I'm wondering if he doesn't see a ton of variations, which is a good thing, right? And so next, we'll look at what's hurting this application the most. In this case, it's latency to ServiceNow. So he says that if your teams could work to make a 50% improvement, you can raise your score based on that. He also looked at browser timing, and he looked at network timing as being small contributors to the deductions against your reliability. And this is over time. This isn't like just looking at right now. This is over time. All right, so here's your probability analysis. So Monte Carlo shows that you could get a significant improvement, and the simulations that he ran all fell between 97.4 to 98.2. So that's pretty good. Oh, and look at there. I was right. There's a narrow standard deviation. So these improvements are relatively stable. That's good to know as well. Improvement opportunities gives you a little bit of advice. I mean, he's programmed and told that he shouldn't just return you statistics, right? He should talk to you a little bit about what he thinks from a generative AI standpoint. And then there's significant potential for improvements. And then here we see that it gets down to the actual percentile histogram showing why he came up with the recommendation that he did. So out of 100, whatever he ran, 100 or 90, what, 97,000 or something simulations, here are all of them. This is when he ran those simulations and you make your improvements, where does the score end up? So in this case, you can see it falls above 97.8. So again, if you go back to the nirvana of being in IT operations for your whole career, the ability to mathematically predict an actual number increase, percentage increase in a score for an application, if you make a change, is incredibly powerful. And that's what the predictor does. So please go out there and play with them. You actually have a history here, and so you're able to see. Yeah, this is sort of fun if you think about it. You're actually able to see the predictions that you asked for, and what the prediction was supposed to turn out to be, and then you can come back to this to compare, to see exactly what, let's say you made the change to make improvements, you can come back here and compare and see if it was right. So again, back in my day when I was leading IT operations for a particular Fortune 100, if I would have gone to the CIO and given a mathematical prediction and then been able to come back to prove mathematically that I was right on target, you're talking about a really amazing luxury. And AI, generative AI in ScoutITAi makes that possible. So anyways, hope you're excited about it and wanted to give it a try. Can't hurt anything. So just go out there and play with it. And I'll see you in the next video.